I want to show you how good this looks. So this is nice and sturdy. It's not going to move on us. I got all the Teflon out, and so the next thing to do is to clean up the pressure release, this relief valve here. You know, clean out the inside, clean out the outside, polish it, polish this up a little bit, clean it. This actually just works with a ball on the bottom and the spring to hold it in, and then the nut goes on it to hold it in place. And then when there's too much pressure, it just pushes up on the spring, and the ball comes off the top of the this hole here and releases the steam. It also has a double purpose, that if it does release any steam or whatever, the water this is a little catch cup. It gets gathered in this catch cup and then comes down and goes into the drip tray. So that's the next thing I need to do. So the steam release, safety release here, basically has 4 parts. It has this nut, which is a cap on top. I've got nice and shiny. It's got this catch cup with a little tube on it that diverts it down to the drip tray. And then we have this a ball bearing and a spring. That's all the old systems really used. What I'd like to do is to find some way to set this so that it is steady here. Let's see if I find anything that I can put underneath. Because what I'm trying to do is to put it at an angle so that it goes on easier. Let's see. So the ball bearing goes on the top like this. The catch cup goes toward the front. Be careful not to knock off the ball bearing. The spring goes inside of this nut and fits down inside, and then you quickly put it on without the spring falling in, and you can let's see if it's threaded on here. Okay, the nut, the ball bearing's falling off, so let's try it again. Ball bearing is first, nut is, the catch cup's next. The spring goes in to the nut, and then quickly place it down over the top of the two, and it will be fine if I can get it started. So that's the next question. Can I start it by hand? It did. Let's just make sure that use a thin wall. Doesn't have to be this deep, but just a thin wall. This is 16 millimeters. And then you check it inside to make sure that the ball bearings, obviously now it's captured inside, so you can see in there it's actually all gone in fine. And then to tighten it, and I'm going to tighten this so that this little tube is not sticking out the front. Eventually you want it sticking out the front and going into the drip tray, something like that. But for now I'm going to just put it down so that I don't break it as easily. And I'll come back in and I'll tighten it down later and readjust it once I put the whole machine together. But I'm doing this just so I can fill up just so I can descale the boiler one last time here. So let's see if I can. So use this. This is a 16 millimeter. It's a thin, very thin wrench to get in here to hold the base nut here, so that, and then this will just snug it down like that. So that's really all there is to do with assembly. So it's on, and now the last thing I'm going to do is a plug. I've got this green silicone plug. It's wedged, and I can just put it in here, so I don't have to put the group head on when I descale it. And I'm going to scale this upside down And so I'm going to use Stefano's cool little mount here for the boiler mount, so I can turn it upside down, and it's ready to go. So all the holes inside are filled. Outside this is plugged. These are plugged now. The steam assembly now is plugged, and also the safety release. So I can put it on, actually I'm probably going to use a clamp, put it on a clamp and set it next to my sink, or in my sink, so I can fill this full of descaling solution and let it set overnight.